We might have just made the worst financial decision of our life. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We bought a house. Now, I know a lot of people are going to ask right off the rip, how much did you spend? What's your interest rate? How much did you put down? Where's your area? Blah, blah, blah. Don't worry. Don't worry. I will tell you. Now, I'm not going to tell you right off the rip because I want to at least introduce myself for those of you who are new to the channel. My name's HT, the Viet American Unk. Yes, I'm Vietnamese and I'm a proud American. How much did we spend on this house? Well, it's interesting because originally the house was 300, I believe, and $55,000 when I first saw it go up. When I did buy it, it was 300, excuse me, and $8,000. So I paid $308,000, but not necessarily paid because I'm also paying it monthly with a mortgage. I put 10% down, so just around 30 some at closing. I got to look at the paperwork to see the exact numbers, but 30 something. And then we also have a 6.25 interest rate, which by the way is amazing because everyone at the time was paying 7.5, 8%. That's what their rates were. And they had to use points to buy down while I didn't. We are located out in Texas, so Central Texas. So no, we don't live in a very expensive city like Austin or Houston or even Dallas. It's a 1,750 square feet house. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath, 2 full baths. You have a full open concept for the layout. Excuse the house. It is still being properly decorated and arranged. But yes, you have pretty high ceilings. I'm 5'7", and then you also have this beautiful waterfall kitchen top, and then you have a nice backyard. No trees in the backyard. Absolutely love that about the house. Everything is painted in gray. You do have LPV for the flooring. Absolutely love that as well. You know what? I'm going to flip this around. We're going to start over so that it's more of like a walkthrough of the house so you can get a better feel for it. I hate this POV. Give me a second. All right, there we go. This is going to be our rapid house tour. Okay, first room right over here. This is our first room. It's a flex room. The lady has used it or made it into a nail studio. And again, we're moving in, so excuse the mess. Here we have our first restroom. Again, kind of messy. That's my jeans, so blame me for that one. Nice little walk-in, I guess you can step in. You can't walk in it. Closet. I got a flex cabinet right here too. That is going to be used for medicine. This is our second bedroom. As you can see, it's my son's bedroom, but also my office because he doesn't actually live with me yet. Then you have this beautiful walkway that takes you right into this open concept right here. Now, I know a lot of people aren't big fans of open concept, but I absolutely love it because we're a small family. I don't want to feel, maybe it's the millennial in me. Growing up, it's just everything was sectioned and walled off. I felt like I was living in an office building, not a house. A house should be opening. It should be welcoming, okay? So we have our kitchen, like I said earlier, waterfall, love it. Okay, our cabinetry, love it too. Came with a fridge. Thank you, DB Fuller. Love you, David. DB Fuller is our builder, by the way. Then you have our beautiful backyard. Okay, boom, no trees. Absolutely love it. Now we did get a shed built already, ASAP. I put that in as soon as we bought the house. This video is a little late. So more on that shed later. That was fun and cool. And then we have our open dining room. This tiny little table came from our apartment. And yeah, so now that we actually have a bigger dining area, it's pretty freaking small. So we need a new one and a bigger one. And then excuse the pad because our puppy doesn't get to go out all the time. He likes to pee. The boy drinks a lot of water, so ignore that, okay? He's very well trained. He's such a good puppy. And then right over here, we have our third room. I use it as our social media content creation. And then we have our master bedroom. Oh, let me do this. This is better. Our master bedroom. And this is raw footage, guys. I'm not making my bed and rearranging shit just to impress you guys, okay? Raw footage. So we just woke up, things everywhere. Our restroom right here. Let me give you a better tour right here. Boom, okay? So we got double vanity, big mirror right here. I want to change this whole thing out. That's going to be fun and cool. And then we have our walk-in closet. Again, lots of mods and stuff we want to do to the house, but for right now, I think it's fine. Walk-in shower, no tub yet. Okay. And then we have our separate toilet. Love this too. So if I'm taking a poop, she ain't gonna smell it. And she's showering or putting her makeup on, she's not gonna gag to death. So that's fun too. All right. And that concludes our house tour. Oh, of course, the garage. Nothing too special. Let me show you the garage. As you can see, it is just a basic garage. It's a 19 feet wide by 21 and a half feet long garage with 9 feet ceilings. Now we are doing something special to this, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe. Now that concludes our house tour. So what did I do that was emotional? Why was it emotional? What was it a smart idea? Now it was an emotional purchase, but it wasn't a stupid one. So real quick, I used to live in an apartment about 30 minutes from here. More like 20. Traffic made it 30. That's one of the reasons why I hated living there. Traffic was horrible. Now, what made it so hard to live there was because the neighbors will make or break your living experience. So I had two neighbors. One of them had a small child that I'm guessing was autistic or on the spectrum. God bless that child. I'm not upset about it, but the parents could not keep the sound under control. I mean, it would be 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes 4, and this kid is screaming her head off. Now, in the house or the apartment, in the room, their private room or whatever, I don't care. This kid is running up and down the hallways, screaming at 3 in the morning. Yes. Then I had another neighbor next door to us or sharing adjacent walls with us. They would pump music and smoke horrible smelling weed. Horrible smelling weed, like that cheap stuff, right? That stinks, okay? And their ventilation system is shared with ours. So guess where it goes into? Yes, we're laying there in the middle of the night, in the morning sometimes, throughout the day sometimes, smelling this horrible stuff and listening to horrible mumble rap. Yeah. So, no one was getting sleep. My quality of life was horrible. Now, before I bought this house, I needed to get rid of assets. I had 3 different cars and trucks and a trailer. I had a 4Runner. Sold that. Loved that thing. I had a Toyota Tundra truck. Loved that thing. Sold that as well. And then I also had a trailer. Loved that thing. Sold it as well. Now, the last thing I had that I did not want to sell, I sold everything before I sold this thing, was my Corvette Z06. It wasn't just any Corvette Z06, it was my dream Corvette Z06. I spent 2 years looking for this Corvette, worked my little ass off to find this one and pay for it in cash. What made it so rare and hard to find is that it was a manual transmission C7 Z06. Now, these cars are getting harder and harder to find. People are going back to manual cars, and for some reason, it costs a lot more and people are scooping it up. Okay. So I spent 2 years looking for the exact color because that's the color I wanted, inside and out. And as soon as this man posted it for sale, it had 1,800 miles. Yes, not 18,000, 1,800. A 10-year-old car with 1,800 miles. It was insane. So I flew out the next day, paid cash for it, flew back, and I spent the few next months, years, enjoying this car, making beautiful memories with it, and I did not want to sell it. I didn't want to sell it, but I needed to buy a house. Okay. So, again, if you guys are still with me, thank you so much. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Now, we sell this car because the bank said no, we're not giving you a loan. And this is when I was trying to buy a house and I wasn't even looking at this house. This house was listed at $355,000 and the interest rates were sky high. It was like 7.58% average. Okay. So I was not going to afford this house. I was looking at D.R. Horton houses. I mean, these are basic build, like 200, I think it was like $246,000. They also had an incentive for interest rates. It was, I think it was a 4.5 interest rate, 4.49 interest rate, right? So it was such a good deal. And I still couldn't get my loan through. They said, hey, you got to sell your Corvette. So I sold my Corvette to put money down. And for some reason, they just did not like my tax forms and my proof of income because of the industry I'm in, which I'll talk about in another video, okay? And it was already hard to get a loan at this time period. So it wasn't just me. My paperwork just made it a lot harder. So I was devastated. I mean, I was devastated. I spent 2 years looking for this car. I sold everything, and I'm settling for this house. Settling. I didn't want the house. I was settling. I was going to live there, start a home, live there for 2-3 years, and then eventually move out into a better home and sell that home or rent it out, whatever. I don't know what I was going to do. But I didn't want to stay there. It wasn't the house that I wanted. And I was upset. I was so mad. I remember praying angrily, God, why did you do this? Why is this happening? I spent so long working for this. And who's praying for my downfall? What craziness is this? But little did I know, God was working his magic. You just have to trust him. Because a year later, I put my head down to the stone and I grinded. I grinded. And this house, $355,000, went down to $308,000. And then also, rates went down about 2%, 1.75 for me. At the time, they were trying to give me a 7.75, I think, if I didn't go through D.R. Horton mortgage. So I got the house. And we moved in, and it felt so surreal. And I pray now differently, thanking God for everything. So that is the story of how I emotionally bought this house. And I did it in a good way. It worked out good for me. Now, I'm not going to say it works out for everyone like this because I've seen some horror stories. But yes, this is our dream home that we got at such an awesome price that I almost fell into a different house. Very crazy stuff. Right? So, those of you who stayed with me all the way to the end, I want to know, have you bought a house recently? What is your interest rate? How big is your house? Where are you located? All the numbers. Did you feel like you made the right decision? And what made you buy that house? And I hope you guys give me a follow. Stay with me, guys, on the next few episodes or next few videos. We're going to be doing modifications to the house. Yes, we just got this house and we're already modifying it. What the heck? You can't just leave stuff alone. Yep, that's me. I love to mess with stuff, okay? So, thank you for watching this video, and I hope everyone has a blessed day. Viet American Unk out.